Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Makeup and Magic. Today we are diving into the Underworld and we are going to be doing a makeup look that is inspired by Hades, the Greek god of the Underworld. He is also known as the god of wealth. His energy is powerful, mysterious, and transformative. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the things that could help you work with Hades in your own practice. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Hades is associated with the colors black, gray, and red. These deep, rich colors represent the underworld, death, and rebirth, and also ideas like transitions and hidden wisdom. You'll see how I incorporate these colors into my makeup look today. So, who is Hades? As the Greek god of the underworld, he rules over the dead, but he also is the god of wealth, specifically wealth that comes from the earth, so minerals, precious metals, and gems. And he's not evil, despite how he's portrayed in some popular myths, but rather he's a fair and just ruler. He represents the cycle of death, rebirth, and transformation, and that makes him a really powerful deity or energy to work with within your practice. So I want to provide you with some correspondences that you can use when you're working with Hades energy. So in addition to the colors that we talked about earlier of black, red, and gray, there are also animals such as dogs or vultures and screech owls, and those animals all represent loyalty, death, and mystery. There are some crystals that you can use when you're working with him as well. Obsidian, gold, and garnet are a couple that really represent grounding and protection and transformation. As far as tarot goes, Hades is very strongly linked with the Death Tarot card. What that tarot card symbolizes is rebirth and transition. So when you think of that energy, it's very similar to the energy that Hades brings. Okay, I'm gonna go complete this makeup look off camera, and when I come back, we'll talk about different reasons that you'd wanna work with Hades and different offerings and devotions that you can provide if you decide to. Be right back. Now that the makeup look is finished, let's talk about some times when you might want to bring Hades or incorporate him into your spiritual practice. There are so many different times when you would possibly want to work with his energy, but I can definitely give you a few examples. If you're doing any kind of spirit work where you are maybe trying to connect with a deceased loved one, or if you are maybe doing a death ritual for someone who's passed, those are great times to bring in his energy. Another time would be if you were doing any money workings, especially if that involved any wealth that would come from the earth. The other great time to bring him into your practice would be if you're going through any life transition or change. Maybe if you're working to heal some past wounds or trauma, he has really transformative energy, which could be really beneficial if he's incorporated into your spiritual practice that way. Next, let's talk about some offerings or devotions that you can do if you do choose to work with Hades. So if you want to make an offering to Hades, here are some great ideas. You can use coins, especially because they are made of metals that come from the earth, but they also have the significance of wealth. And if you maybe recall from Greek mythology, in ancient Greece, when people would pass away, their loved ones would place coins on their eyes so that they could pay the ferryman, Charon, to get them across the river Styx in the underworld. So this is a great connection to his personal mythology. Another great thing that you could offer him would be like a dry red wine. It's really symbolic of death and rebirth, as well as transformation, as you have the grapes that go from grapes to a wine. And then finally, another thing that you could offer would be maybe imagery of bones. In my personal practice, I don't work with actual bones, but that if that's something that you feel called to do, you could do that as well. But imagery works just as well. Of course, your personal practice could be very different. What you offer could be not any of the suggested things that I've given you here, but these are just ideas for you to work with. And then, of course, if you decided that you wanted to do some devotional acts for Hades, I can give you some ideas for that as well. Again, these are just suggestions, and you should do whatever resonates with you or you feel called to do. Some devotional acts include maybe cleaning up your local cemetery. Make sure that you always get permission first. But that's a beautiful way to honor Hades and the dead. You could also research rites to death rituals from the past. This really aligns with Hades' domain over the afterlife. Alternatively, you could donate your time or money to a charity, something that would resonate with Hades. And the suggestion that I have for you is the 988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline. This really provides support for people who are in some of the darkest times of their lives. Finally, I want to pull a card for a message from Hades to the collective, and I'm going to use the Deviant Moon Tarot. This deck is really perfect for working with Hades. It's dark, mysterious, and beautiful. It has actually, if you read anything about the deck's creation, all of the different images are actually created from different textures, some of them being graveyards, gravestones, and things like that, which is really interesting. Okay, so let's shuffle these and get our message for the collective from Hades. So we drew the Ace of Pentacles. Let me get you a close-up of that card there. And aces actually signify new beginnings and new opportunities that might be presented to you soon. And they actually are a great omen that you are going to have a lot of wealth and success from these presented opportunities. The Suit of Pentacles is a suit about material things, so it can be about your wealth or your health, and that's very fitting with Hades' energy being that earth energy and the wealth that comes from within the earth. Hades' message is it's really important for you to be open to new opportunities and to be confident that they will bring you the wealth and the success that you are hoping for. And that's it for Makeup and Magic with Hades. I hope you found this makeup look to be inspiring, and I hope some of the information I provided will be helpful if you decide to incorporate Hades into your spiritual practice. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. There will be more Makeup and Magic coming your way. And leave a comment below if you have or plan to work with Hades in your spiritual practice, and there's anything that you think would be helpful for others. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Blessed be.